Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. It's going to be kind of a short tech / tutorial video explaining timing, boost, all these little terms that are thrown around in the RC hobby that are similar to real world automobiles. So I just thought I'd kind of run it by you guys a little bit and show you. This is the Turnigy Trackstar. It's the multi-function LCD programming box. You can do all kind of adjustment parameters with this ESC. And the great thing about this little program box, guys, as I've shown it before, is it's got a battery tester on the end. It's where your balance lead goes in, all the way up to 8S. So you can test individual cells all the way up to 8S. So what you got here, hopefully you can see, I'm sorry I'm wearing this on the chest mount, but right there on the ESC, hopefully you can see that, it says program. That is where your little data link card cable goes. So it's got your signal, your positive, your negative, and it's labeled right here. Signal, positive, negative. So you know it definitely wants to go this way. Sorry guys, the camera's going to move around the way I move. It just, the downfall of using a chest mount, but that's all I have at the moment. So, we'll go ahead with this end, the same thing. Signal, positive, negative. You got your ESC here. It's got it labeled so you can't hook it up wrong. S, plus, and negative. Plug it into there, power it on. And then turn it up where you can read the stupid thing. And then it's going to say connect ESC, hit OK. Now it's linking to the ESC. And this is going to go and tell you what running mode you're in, etc., etc. You can go and change it just where you have forward and brake, no reverse. But this is the general running mode we all run in, forward, reverse, and brake. Alright. So this is your max reverse force, 36%. You can adjust that to whatever you want. All the way up to, I want to say 50. No, it's over 50. Oh, you can jack it up to 100%. But you don't want 100% reverse, guys. I'm going to leave mine at 30. Alright, next item. Cutoff voltage, automatic. You can set your voltage here where you want this thing to go in low voltage cutoff to protect your batteries, your ESC, you know, your motor, everything. So sorry guys, there's 3 fans running on this thing. That's why it's so loud. One on the ESC, one on the heat sink on the motor, and the little side fan I put on the motor since we're spinning this thing to the moon. So bear with me. You got thermal protection for the ESC. I went in and reset everything, guys, so I could do this video. So I want to go in and enable that. Now it's enabled. Hit OK. Now the thermal protection's on the ESC, so it can't get too hot and you burn it down. Next item, motor thermal protection. Of course, it's on disabled. You want to go in and hit value. Now it's enabled. Hit OK. Now you have thermal protection on your motor and on your ESC. Back voltage. You can go from 6, 7.4 to 8. I run this one on 6 because the old stock LEDs just won't handle it, guys. Servo works fine on this small car at 6. Now when you're running larger cars, bigger servos and stuff like that, especially those new digital servos, the high dollar servos, you'll want to increase your back voltage, but for this 12th scale, 6 volts is fine, at least for me it is. Remote disabled. I think that's with a remote module that can go onto here, so I'm not real familiar. I can't really explain that one to you yet. I've got to do a little more reading on this thing, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Alright, sensor mode. Hybrid or full censored. So, of course, this one is a hybrid because it's a stock Rlaarlo motor. So, that's what they call a sensorless motor, is a hybrid. Motor rotation, counterclockwise, that's where they all generally spin. So you can turn it clockwise or you can turn it counterclockwise. It just depends on which way you want to go with it. And I think 90% of them I've ever seen out of the box are counterclockwise. Phase AC, I don't have that on. Alright, here's your punch. Starting point, 30% throttle is where the punch really comes in at. Here's your punch rate, how much it increases every 0.3 of a second, so you can adjust it here. I found 3 to be about optimal for me and my likings on this car. Here's your punch rate. End, it ends at 30, which is wide open, so okay. Throttle curve, you got linear, customized. I run linear where it's just constant graph. That's how I run it on my hobby wing and do all. Now if you were doing drag racing and stuff like that, you would want to go in and customize your timing curve. Or if you had this ESC on a rock crawler, which I don't know why you would, but you could go in and adjust it that way. Neutral range, 6%. Again, that's where 95 to 99% of all your RTRs come. So I just left this one here at 6%. Initial throttle force, 6%. Now you can crank that up, guys, but that's going to coincide with your punch. So I have found to keep this one somewhat tameable, 5% or lower to keep the front end on the ground. Coast, 0%. I'll leave that one on 0. Softening value, 0 degrees. I don't use that. Softening range, I don't use that either. That's your PWM drive frequency, 4K, that's where they all come from. I don't know how to explain that in terminology that I can make it make sense in this video, guys. So maybe Brian will watch this. He can jump in there and explain it a little better. But yeah, I don't really know how to explain that to make it make sense. Brake control. You got heavy, slowly, or heavy. Trust me, going as fast as I've had this thing going, you want it on heavy. At least I do. Drag brake, 0. I don't, especially if you're doing speed runs, guys, you don't want to be having the brake dragging any at all. That's just going to slow you down. So, max brake force, I got this one on 100%. I found that's where it needs to be. The speed this car's hitting, definitely where it needs to be. And I'm still having a problem getting it slowed down sometimes. Initial brake force at 50%. I mean, I can go, you can do it this way, but it makes you go to the drag brake, and I don't want to do that. So 50% is the max. Like I said, I still can't get it slowed down all the way in time sometimes. So we're going to leave it at 50. Brake add rate, that's 20. So you can go up all the way up to 50. But that's just kind of the... Again, that's one of those situations I'm about to figure out how to explain it to you to make it make sense, because I don't really know the full terminology, but I've fooled around with this a good bit, guys, before I decided to make this video. And so far for me on this setup, 20 is about where it needs to be. I'll go ahead and tell you, when I run this, not this particular ESC, but in the hobby wing on the Terminator, I had the brake add rate at 33%. That way I could get it to slow down, but that, the Terminator is a lot heavier than this. So brake frequency, like I said, I think they all come at 2,000. Boost timing, you can see there, guys, this is where you're going to start getting into that. So you got, that's 0 degrees. That means there's none. So if you want to add boost to this thing, throw some timing at it, guys. I have been throwing 2 degrees at it, and I have got a best so far of 85.5 miles per hour. And I don't know how accurate that is, guys, because like I said, if you watch my other videos, you'll know that my SkyRC analyzer died on me. I don't know why, and I've been having to use that little Milan GPS. We all know, the little portable GPS. And guys, I tested that thing. Well, I got it right here, as a matter of fact. I tested this thing up against my SkyRC several times on several different vehicles. I mean, these things are good to get you started, guys, kind of get you in the ballpark, but I tested this thing, I know, on 3 or 4 different vehicles against my SkyRC, and this thing I always read 3 to 5 miles per hour slower. And you have to run this thing out so much further because the refresh rate on it's so slow before you'll get your top speed. So anyway, I'm going to throw some more timing in it while I'm making this video with you guys. Told you guys there's more ways than one to try to get to 100 miles per hour. So, you know, I can only go 4S. That's all this ESC will do. I have got another 28 tooth pinion in there now. I picked up one while I was out earlier from a friend of mine. So you all know that's what we stripped out earlier. I think I showed it. I know I did. Yeah, I showed it. You guys seen it. So I didn't think we'd drop off. We dropped off like 2 or 3 miles an hour in that last video that I uploaded on this thing, and I don't know why, other than that 27 tooth pinion is all I had at the time to put in there. And yeah, it was I didn't think one tooth would cost us almost 3 miles an hour, but it did. So anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add 4 more degrees of timing with a total of 8 degrees of timing advance. Boom, it's locked in. All right, this is where your boost starts at. How many RPMs? 5,000 RPMs, guys. This thing is 3,600 kV. All right, for every volt that you throw to it. So sitting here at idle, like it's sitting here now, it doesn't have any volts going to it. As soon as I touch that throttle, guys, it's got 11.1 volts going to it. So unless you tone it down, and you can tone it down in here, or you can tone it down with your little throttle control on your, you know, on your radio. But you're going to have to be way down. 5,000 RPM is way too low. So, I mean, I'll just go ahead and tell you, you need 3,600 kV, 11.1. You really need, you know, you need to have your timing to start. So, way on up there. But you can see that it only lets you go up to 20,000 RPMs. So, I'm going to put this one at 10,000 and see what kind of changes we get from the way we were running it. So, all right, boost end. 50,000 RPMs, guys. 50,000 is all it'll let you do, because that ESC has detected this motor and knows that 50,000 is the limit on the motor. So technology, guys, is great. Use it. Use it. It helps. Boost control, automatic. Now you can do automatic and let this ESC do it all for you, or you can go in and do it by RPM. Ever how you want to do it. I just think it's easier to do automatic because it's more linear. It's in with that linear throttle curve. I have found that throttle curve in that Hobbywing ESC is just like this one. They did their homework, guys. Don't look past this ESC. This thing is amazing. And I'm telling you now, if they offer this thing in a 6 to 8S capable ESC, that is exactly what would be in the Terminator or in one of my infractions. It's that good, guys. It's that good. All right, turbo timing, 2 degrees. And you can see how much here. You can go all the way up to, let's see, excuse me, 48 degrees. So don't put 48 degrees in there, guys. It'll blow that motor all to pieces. You'll burn it up, or the ESC, or both. So turbo timing is basically, it's going to throw more volts and boost the timing. It's just going to add more punch to the timing you've already added in there. So you got to remember, we went to 8 degrees. So if we go throw some turbo timing in there, do we want it to start at 2 degrees? No, because we got it on 8 degrees earlier, right? So I'm going to divide it in half, 50. So 4 degrees. I'm going to start there. Turbo delay. You got instant. You got 5/100ths of a second, a tenth, 1.5 tenths, 2 tenths. I mean, all the way up, guys, to where you can delay it. I mean, hell though, guys, really, most of these runs, depending on how far you're running, they're over in, you know, what? Some of them's over in 6-7 seconds. So I don't have my turbo delay there. I'm going to run mine right there, 3/10. So it's going to roll out, and then 3/10 into the run, it's going to add more turbo timing. It's going to add, that's when it's going to add the turbo increase that I just put in there. So it's going to be rolling out from the punch, and then 3/10 into the run, it's going to add the extra I just put in there. You can, like I said, you can program that all the way up to where it's 1 second or 2 seconds into the run. Just depends on how far you're running. Turbo add rate. See, now this is where you really need to pay attention, guys. 4 degrees every 10th of a second. So that's you need to be careful with this, guys, if you don't know what you're doing, especially if you've never messed with automobile engines or anything, or timing or turbo or spool or anything like that. So there's your turbo add rate. Instant, you don't want instant. This thing's just going to flip over with you. So 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, 4 degree. And there we go. I'm going to leave it right there. Turbo sub rate, 4 degree. I'm going to leave it there. So that is extra if you want, basically if you wanted an extra punch of turbo after what you've already put in there, this is where you'd go up on that, but I'm not going to go up so it don't add more. I don't want to explode that motor, guys. And then you got your defaults. So see, I'm running in mode 1, custom timing. All mine's set up now, it's custom. Cut it off, then unplug, and all those settings that you just put in there, guys. And here's your little port cover that you need to put back on there. You don't want your terminals getting wet or moisture getting down in there. Make sure you run it. I'm telling you guys, don't look past this little ESC. I've reached out to my contact there several times trying to see if I can't get you guys some coupon codes and discounts on this thing. It is a little pricey. I get it, you know, especially when I started off by showing you guys what this thing would do completely box stock, and then I put that little $15 V-Best Life 120 amp ESC in there. And big shout out to my boy Brian over at Brian's RC Stuff. He's been killing it with that little $15 ESC. But I mean, guys, I bought that thing in January of 2024. So I mean, I basically ran it, what, 15 months? You know, so it cost me $1 a month before it went out. And guys, it was never ever rated to run on 4S. And Brian and I have both shown it will handle 4S in a very conservative, like we do, in test runs, just speed runs, not every day. It'll handle 3S all day, every day, all you want to throw at it. But, you know, eventually it just gave up the ghost. I mean, it is what it is, guys. It's electronic. Anything electronic or mechanical eventually is going to fail. It's got a shelf life. It's the way it is. And, you know, it is what it is. Checking that mesh, guys, make sure. But, you know, I had a couple of people comment on my last video that I uploaded on this thing on Thursday night. So, yeah, because this video is not going to upload till Friday morning, so I'll go ahead and say Thursday night. And said, wow, that looked faster than 82 or 85 miles an hour. That looked like low to mid 90s. I completely agree with you. First thing I sent my buddy Brian over at Brian's RC Stuff, I sent him a text and told him, and he knows, he ran this exact little GPS. Then he got a larger one from another company he got in with, and I think it was actually off more than this one. I don't remember, Brian, I'll let you know. But then he finally got him one of the GNSS analyzers. I believe he got his through Power Hobby. So I was really glad to see him get one. He was really deserving of one, and they work great. I don't know what happened to mine. It may be my fault, guys. I'm not blaming the product. That thing has taken several 80 to over 110 mile an hour crashes. So it may have been my fault. It is what it is. But from now on, it's going to be enclosed in a protective case under the body shell. I'm no longer going to have it running outside of the car. So I have found that it picks up just fine under the body shell. I was afraid that it might lose signal and not give me an accurate reading. But after I'd done some serious testing with it, I found out that you know, it picks up just fine through that Lexan or polycarbonate body. So, but I have found, guys, that this thing, I tested it on the exact same vehicle. I had this thing stuck right beside the Sky RC analyzer and made a run. And this thing read anywhere from 3 to 5 miles per hour slower every single time. And I run the car or the truck, whatever I was running at the time testing it, I run it out a whole lot longer than I usually did, just because I knew the refresh rate on this. And I run it out a whole lot longer knowing that, you know, I give it plenty of room for this thing to refresh, and it was still off by 3 to 5 miles per hour. So, you know, I had some people agree with me that they thought that was pretty easily a 90 mile per hour pass. And guys, I'm not bragging by any means. I'm not the fastest person on YouTube. I never will be the fastest person on YouTube. But I can say this and feel confident and not sound like I'm being cocky or arrogant or anything like that. I think on the budget side of things, especially utilizing what I mean by stock motors, you know, we all change gearing, guys, so I can't say that. But, and I know this ESC, guys, I had a couple people mention that ESC costs more than the whole car. I get it. I would have put something else in here, guys. I originally had, you know that, I had that $15 V-Best Life ESC in here, but I didn't have anything else to put under this body shell, guys, to run this car. And this car is so good that I wanted to get it back on the road. And yeah, it's not a perfect fit in there, but I think the little ingenuity that I come up with, I think it turned out pretty good. I've had a lot of people send me messages on this, and a couple of people sent me emails on it and said, man, you done a fantastic job the way you done that. When the body shell's on there, you can't even see it. You would never know, and you would never know. But when, you know, I did have to trim that little side panel out where it fit in there, but hey, it works. And I know, like I said, you know, this ESC is anywhere from $159 to $189, depending on if they got it on sale or whatever. And I know that's, you know, roughly just a few dollars more than what this buggy's going for, depending on when you get it or where you get it or whatever. But like I said, I didn't have anything else to put in here, and now it's in here, and I had to work my tail off to get it mounted in here. I'm not taking it out until I'm done with this, and I don't know if I'll be done with this, guys. I kind of push RCs to the max, or what I feel like is the max, or what all I can get out of them. And then I kind of just put them on the shelf for a little while, because I just get it, be honest with you guys, I get burned out dealing with the same stuff. And I have to take a break from it, and then I'll get back to it. It's like the ROG1. It's kind of on the back burner right now because, you know, it had a pretty nasty crash, and I broke some front end pieces, and I've got all new parts. Rlaarlo sent them out to me. I've had them for a week now. And they seen it, and I tagged them in the video, and I didn't even have to ask for the parts. They sent me a tracking number and said, hey, your replacement parts are on the way. So you couldn't ask for any company to be more helpful and stand behind their products, and especially to the people that they send their products out to, because Rlaarlo's been great to me. I couldn't ask for anything anymore, so that's why. But like I was saying, is I don't think on the budget side of things, on budget cars, I don't like using the word in the terminology cheap, because to me cheap is just Walmart stuff, or you know, some of that $39, $49 stuff on Amazon or eBay or whatever. But the more budget-oriented stuff, I don't think there's anybody that does any more thorough testing than Brian's RC stuff or myself. I don't. I mean, I don't want to sound conceited when I say that, guys, but I feel like he and I, we do a pretty thorough job of showing what you can get out of these things, utilizing mostly the stock motor and, you know, just a little bit bigger pinion. We even use the stock 48-pitch gears, guys. And anybody knows when you're trying to go fast, the easiest, best way to do that is to go up to a Mod 8 or a Mod 1, because you can get a lot stronger gears. You know, you get a lot more, it's easier to get gears in different ratios than it is in this 48 pitch. And I think, I don't know what I done with it, guys. Let me go over here on my little workbench. Maybe I stuck it over here. I can't really remember what I done with it. So, you know, guys, don't pay attention to my workbench. It's kind of cluttered right now, but I have been working on so much stuff. I don't know what I done with it, guys. That's not important. You all seen it though, so. But that freaking pinion gear, guys, was stripped slap off. It stripped it slap off. And that's one thing, is this little cheap aluminum here. But you know, the thing about it is with the aluminum, it's quieter. If you watched my last video, you could tell a difference between that 27 tooth and that 28 tooth that's stripped, because the 27 tooth was metal, still 48 pitch, but it was metal, to where the gear like this one is that aluminum stuff, and they're just not that strong. And like I said, it's just, we try to do that because some people may not be familiar with Mod 8 or Mod 1 gears. Some people might just have the bare mechanical abilities, or not have, you know, much money where they can go out and spend all kind of money upgrading their gears and their diffs or their slipper clutch or whatever. So we try to utilize as much of the stock parts as we can and show you what you can get out of them, you know, just increasing, you know, a few pinion sizes with the stock gear mesh and pitch and all that stuff. And like I said, we're both running the same stock motor. The Rlaarlo is just black. They got a little bit of CNC machining on them, but it's the exact same motor that's in the Juicy and the MT16, the ZD Racing. They're all the same motor. They have German bearings in them, which is really good. And I mean, look at Brian. Brian's flying. I mean, he had his little Juicy truck up with a set of these hoons on it, guys. And what, 86 miles per hour on 4S with that little V-Best Live ESC. I mean, that's insane. That's with a 26 tooth pinion, guys. And that's what was shocking to me, is because he went 86, you know, with a 26 tooth. And I haven't been able to get 86 yet with that 28 tooth, which I think I can now. I got a whole lot bigger area to run in. I was having to shut down before I actually got to go wide open. But I mean, hey, he's got room to grow in that, you know, with that pinion. So if anybody can squeeze a 30 or a 31, 32 tooth in there, it'll be Brian. So, I mean, for some reason, guys, there's some people out there that think Brian and I are in some type of competition with each other. If there is any type of competition there, guys, it's a friendly competition. It's nothing hostile or anything like that. We're both similar in age. I am a little bit older than him, but we kind of grew up in the same era, and he's kind of a 5.0 Fox body Mustang guy, and I'm a turbo Buick guy, Grand National, Turbo T. You know, wished I had a GNX, but my dad had one. We got it still. I'm working on it, guys. Hopefully I'll be the owner of a GNX, or at least my brother and I both will be the owner of it. But we'll get into that another time. But, you know, he and I go back and forth to each other about that because, you know, back in the day when we were in high school, guys, or, you know, right after I was in high school and he was probably still in high school, I mean, that was the hot ticket of cars. You had the 5.0 Mustang, Fox body Mustang. You know, you had the LX with the 10-hole Fox body wheels on it, a 5-speed, 355 gears, and those little things were a rocket back in the day for what they were. And, you know, you could get them for, what, $10,000, $12,000 new. I mean, it was, I mean, bare bones essential. I think some of them you might have got AC in them, but other than that, like plastic floor mats and plastic pleather seats, or some of them had the tweed seats in them. I don't know, you know, all of it, but I was a Turbo Buick Regal guy, and I used to love going and street racing those guys, and they'd have their 5.0 Mustangs, or the guys in the 5.7 IROC Zs, or the 5.7 GTA Trans Ams, you know, and, you know, get up there and outrun them with a 6-cylinder, and it really, you know, tore their butts up. They couldn't stand it. But, you know, there was times where I did get outrun by some 5.0 Mustangs and some 5.7 IROCs and GTAs. But, you know, it was, you know, Brian had mentioned, he asked me if I dealt with a lot of heat soak, and I think he might be more familiar with the pre-86, 86 and 87 Turbo Buicks. They had a intercooler. So the cars prior to that, 85s and downs, they did have an issue with heat soak, but I never really had a big problem with heat soak with mine. But just to be conservative and careful on mine, as I had a methanol injection put on it anyway. And, you know, enough of that. I'm just trying to tell you guys a little bit about Brian and myself, and I don't want anybody to ever think that I get on here trying to outdo Brian or anything like that. If there's anybody out there who is been a big help to me, he has been a big support to me, especially after losing my father. Probably one of the best friends I say I got right now, and I've never met the guy in person, but that's just how I look at him. I consider him one of my best friends. He's a super great guy, And if he ever needed anything, all he had to do, he knows he could pick up the phone, and I feel the same way. If I needed something, I feel like it would be done, and he knows it would be done with me. So, but, you know, don't think there's not a little bit of a friendly rivalry out there, but it's all in fun, guys. It's not nothing hostile or anything like that. So, I mean, he's got his juicy version of this. He either has it now or it's on the way. So I'm sure you're going to see some crazy speeds out of it, just like you did his truck. He's not done with that truck yet. You know, his little V-Best Life ESC kind of played out on him too. And, you know, it happens, guys. I mean, it's a $15 ESC, and we were pushing it well beyond what it was ever designed for. So, you know, enough of that. But anyway, guys, I just kind of hope this give you a brief rundown and a little info. I guess it's something I want to call Tech Thursdays, Tech Tuesdays, and Tech Thursdays. But kind of give you guys a little inside. People ask me how I mounted my other fan in there, and, you know, it's right there on the side. And I just got it butted up right against that fan. And I used some E6000. Holds it in there real tight, but if you ever want to remove it, it's easily removable. And it really, really keeps that motor cool now. So that is the number one thing of electronics, guys, whether you're doing this or whatever, is heat. Same way as your automotive car transmission. That is the number one thing that will kill a transmission, is heat. And some of this stuff, you guys, you got to understand, I grew up in a drag racing family. I spent just about every freaking weekend, as long as I can remember, at the racetrack with my dad and my brothers. And you know, we still got my dad's drag car, and I'm too old to drive that damn thing now as fast as it is. Some of you may be familiar with drag racing and time slips and all that stuff, but that thing is in the 370s now, which I mean 3.7 seconds at over 200 miles an hour, an eighth of a mile, 660 feet. Its best 60 foot to date up until about a week ago was 1.01, and it went a 0.997 60 foot, our last test. So when it comes to dialing in suspension and talking timing and speed and gear ratios and stuff like that, I feel like that I kind of bring a little bit of a different aspect to the table when it comes to it, because I mean, I do set up the suspension and converter and trans brake and all that stuff in my dad's car, even though my brother drives it. And he sets up the fuel tech system and it brings the boost in and all that. But we both work equally hard on it, and we both got our own things we're really good at with it. And that's why it works the way it does. So a lot of this stuff that I speak of is, and try to explain in the RC world, is something I'm familiar with dealing with a full-size drag car. And I hope I make it make sense, but I'm kind of old, guys. I'm 52, working on 53, so you got to bear with me. I'm not a young chicken anymore, and I just try to get on there and help you guys all I can. But anyways, hope you guys found this helpful. Stay tuned. This thing is not going to stop, guys, until we hit 100 miles per hour. And I had someone leave a comment on one of my videos this morning, and just had to be a condescending prick. And I don't understand why people feel that way. I mean, they made a comment about a guy that I talk to quite often. He's subscribed to my channel. I'm subscribed to his channel, and he's flying. And he made the comment that this specific channel has, you know, just went 120 something miles an hour on 3S with one of these, but, you know, he had a different body shell on it. Well, yeah, he's got a different body shell on it. He's got Mod 1 gears in it. He's got a complete different motor in it. Nothing about that car, and he'll tell you that, nothing about that car that he's got up to that speed on 3S, guys, is stock Rlaarlo anymore. I don't even think he's got the stock servo in it. But, I mean, as far as what he got out of this thing with the stock electronics was still flying, but nowhere near what he's doing now. So, you know, I understand there's people out there faster. Guys, there's always going to be somebody faster. So I'll never claim to be the fastest. And anybody that says they are, well, you know, there's always somebody faster. And all those guys that are out there doing those crazy speeds, that RC Speed Tester, RC Speed Runner, there's several different channels. I can't keep up with all of them. Those guys are flying, you know, and props off. God bless them. I'm happy for them. I'm not trying to go faster than them guys. I'm not even in that competition. I'm just out here living a dream. I'm living my childhood up here in my 50s and having fun while I'm doing it, meeting some great people, and trying to help some people along the way. And I hope you all found this a little bit helpful. But stay tuned. This little buggy here will hit 100 miles per hour before I stop, and it will be on 4S. It will be with that ESC. And hopefully, unless it pukes its guts out, it will be with that little stock Rlaarlo motor right there. So we'll find out. We still got a whole lot more timing and stuff we can fool with in here, guys, and add to it. And, you know, if I can't get there on the gearing that I'm allowed to fit in here, guys, I will buy a motor mount, or I will have my brother CNC machine one off a CAD file to where I can get more adjustability out of here, guys. And I know for a fact we got enough room right in between that area right there to where a 40-tooth pinion to fit in here. I will get this thing to 100 miles an hour one freaking way or the other. But I want to try to use a stock motor mount if I can, and be, you know, at least 30-tooth or smaller and get there. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. All the new subscribers, I see you, and I appreciate every one of you. I wish I could call you all out by name, but I can't. But I thank you for your support. And if anybody found any of my videos this week helpful, in any way, shape, or form, entertaining at all, would you please consider giving it a thumbs up? And if you're new here and you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell before you leave. It really helps us small channels out more than you'll ever know, and it doesn't cost you a dime. And if you don't like what we're doing here, you can always unsubscribe. Be no harm, no foul, no hard feelings, you know. But I would really appreciate any support. And if you want to share my video, guys, you have my full-on blessing. Anybody does to share my videos. So go right ahead. I'd greatly appreciate it if you did. So stay tuned, guys. 100 miles per hour or bust. But I set my mind to something, guys. I'm going to achieve it one way or the other. Appreciate you watching. Till next time, guys. God bless. Most of all, God bless America. And we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.